A recent addition to our demonstration fleet is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle that's capable of operating on E85. As a leader in both hybrid and flexible fuel technology, Ford, we feel, is well positioned to bring the two together the plug-in vehicle and to demonstrate the potential for CO2 reductions and also energy security. We also have many partners here at the conference today, and I'm pleased to announce that our partner, Johnson Controls Saft, will provide the batteries for our 20-unit fleet of the Escape hybrid plug-ins that I just mentioned. And we believe strongly that partnerships and collaborations are absolutely critical to bringing emerging technologies from the laboratory onto the street. Now, of course, plug-ins are not without their challenges. While the basic architecture is similar to our current hybrid electric vehicles, there are a number of engineering challenges. And solutions need to be found for systems that would traditionally rely on a conventional engine, things like emissions control, transactional lubrication, even cabin features like window defrost and heating, those type of things. We've also been working on other technical hurdles, and we're confident that we have the expertise to properly design a robust plug-in hybrid. But in order to deliver plug-in hybrids to the mass market, challenges that lie outside of the automotive realm must be addressed. Viable solutions to these issues can only come from partnerships with other sectors of the marketplace. First, let's go through a couple of them. First, there's the battery. The advancement in lithium-ion technology is what makes plug-in hybrids possible, but the technology is still new for vehicle applications. For example, will lithium-ion batteries prove durable, especially when they're subjected to the vibrations and bumps of 150,000 miles of real-world street use? Will they meet customers' expectations in the extremes of, let's say, a Minnesota winter or an Arizona summer? Will the packaging and controls that we have on the vehicle provide the level of quality and safety that consumers demand and expect from our products? Now, while they're getting closer, battery manufacturers have a ways to go before they can commit to providing batteries that meet OEM safety and durability requirements, and at a cost and volume necessary to support substantial production, and at a level that would affect national petroleum consumption and carbon dioxide emissions. Will the batteries be able to do all that and be affordable to the average consumer? It's also important to note that most battery supply today is currently being developed in Asia. And for those looking to plug-ins to answer our energy security concerns, we must ensure that we have a domestic battery supply. Moving from imported oil to imported batteries clearly would not address this growing concern. The other major prerequisite for commercial viability is a robust recharging infrastructure. Now, recharging, as you know, is as simple as plugging in the vehicle and not much different from any other household appliance. But the infrastructure to provide that plug needs a lot of work. Among the factors to consider are access. Nearly everyone has electricity, but how many potential consumers have garages? Access to overnight charging isn't readily available for most people, for example, who live in apartments or townhomes or condos. Or for that matter, for suburban families with teenagers or simply too many outdoor toys that are stored in the garage that you can't get into the garage. Sounds like some of you fit that bill. Now, 100-plus years of experience with gasoline has ensured that a nationwide infrastructure so that when you decide to go from New York to California, you don't have to worry about getting fuel. But a public recharging infrastructure for plug-in hybrids simply doesn't exist at this time, and I know Shai Agassi talked a little bit about that in his remarks. Another area is payment. Now, perhaps the most perplexing issue is when you're not at home, how do you pay for the electricity that you use to recharge your vehicle? Or for that matter, how do you know how much that electricity will cost? Because as you know, rates vary from region to region and soon from hour to hour. And this is not like sitting in the airport and you see everybody plugging in their laptops or their cell phones before they go. Another area is the utilities. The petroleum industry involves only a handful of participants. But in the U.S., there are literally thousands of utilities which would need to unite in recharging protocols and billing to provide the seamless infrastructure needed for a mass market. Now, we're working to find the right answers, and through our partnership with Southern California Edison and the Electric Power Research Institute, we're looking at things such as the charging infrastructure, how the vehicle connects to the home, and how the vehicle connects to the grid if it's not charged at home, as well as other opportunities to advance the battery market to essentially bring costs down and to perhaps provide distributed energy storage to strengthen the overall grid. Now, through this collaboration, we're really gaining and starting to gain some real-world experience with customers throughout the country. And that experience and the data that we collect will help us do the necessary business analysis to determine the viability of plug-ins. And I think we'd all agree that we want to reduce carbon dioxide emissions and improve our nation's energy security. But how do we achieve these goals in a sustainable way, making a business case that provides value to the customers, value to the utilities, and of course, value to the manufacturers? And based on the necessary research and development costs, manufacturing and production investments, the lack of a national refueling infrastructure, and the lack of domestic battery manufacturing, it seems clear that a business case will not evolve in the near term without support from Washington. Now, government policy can be very effective in accelerating the commercialization of new technologies. Tax breaks for hybrid technology proved to be an incentive for early adopters of hybrid vehicles, and that led to greater customer acceptance of those vehicles. In the same manner, incentives for plug-in hybrids will need support if they're going to be developed to be commercially viable. And we feel strongly that domestic battery production must be prioritized. The Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007 went a long way towards developing research and development and demonstration programs for plug-in vehicles and batteries. We now need to execute this and ensure the programs get the appropriate funding.